not a scam. Go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. See you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. What's the point of putting your money into it if it's not gonna last? Always ask. There's many competing for world dominance. I believe China has all the cash. Today we're talking about OG coin. Today we're talking about Delta coin. Today we're talking about chip chain coin. If you wanna know how much wood, see you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. It came up as a scam of some sort. Token that's trying to change the world. One thing I don't think I mentioned, they'd start with good intentions. Today we're talking about Matic coin. Today we're talking about Allrun coin. Today we're talking about Aeon coin. If you want to know how much wood, subscribe. See you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets. Buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. See you in the future, very good. Subscribe. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Subscribe. See you in the future, very good. Subscribe. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Is this gonna last that 10-year mark? In short time, it came up in the cards. Tracking goods from point A to point B. New cycle with cryptocurrencies. Because it's fairly unknown to the majority of people on the planet Earth. Most people barely know what an Ethereum is. Hi, this is Greens Bounder, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do prediction for you, let me know in the comments below. I'm riding a little bit solo today. The wife's asleep because she did the night shift. So just let's get started here today. Oh, just a reminder that we do lives here on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Central. So make sure you mark down on your calendars for those times. So let's get started. Crypto for the future. Now, a lot of things been happening as of late with the Federal Reserve doing its thing, making a bunch of blunders, and the banks and all the people that are in charge of our financial world are basically dropping the ball on many of the things going on, trying to keep our heads above water. And it's starting to be more and more noticeable to even the common person that something is definitely wrong. And this is what I've been saying for quite some time, that cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and Bitcoin Cash and Chainlink are the ways forward, as through this turbulent time, we're going to be seeing a lot of the cryptocurrencies that are going to be disappearing because they have no use case. We're going to be switching from a speculative mentality, okay, of cryptocurrencies into a necessity mindset. And this is going to be becoming more and more prevalent as we go forward in time. Okay, so let's throw some cards down for the next 3 to 4 year period for the crypto world. Okay, we got about 5 questions from before. A bunch of people have asked questions before the show, and then we'll get into the chat. Okay, I don't actually see your chat going on. I can switch it over while I'm doing the reading, just to make sure I'm keeping appraised on what everybody is saying. Hello, everybody. Everybody coming into the chat. Awesome stuff. So, 3 year period for the cryptocurrency world. So next 3 years, let's have a look at what's going to be happening in the cryptocurrency universe, as it were. It seems that the health of that situation is the emotions are going to be very, very absolute in the next 3 years on cryptocurrencies going forward. People are going to come to the conclusion that cryptocurrencies are the way to go. Not necessarily the stable coins at the moment, but for the legacy coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Chainlink, and any of the bigger coins are going to be the ones that people are going to be turning to because of necessity and accessibility. Okay, if you go to the corner store and they got a Bitcoin currency machine, okay, for the regular people that don't use Coinbase or anything like that, the main coins that are going to be on there are going to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Okay, so when people start to rush out and start to gain their crypto fortunes in the next little while, those are going to be the 3 coins that are going to be popping the most because of accessibility. Okay, and I think those 3 coins are basically on the PayPal app and in different areas where you can get those the easiest. Okay, we got the Ace of Pentacles, of course, in the health of the cryptocurrency world for the next 3 years. So, yes, very strong. Pentacles are always about finances, um, gaining wealth through means. Okay. Right next to that, okay, is the Hanged Man. Okay, but he's upside down. So everybody is not going to be hung up on the idea of cryptocurrencies in the next 3 years of is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Okay, they're going to be coming to the realization it will be a necessity going forward. Okay, so for the financial part, in the next 3 years, it's going to be building up very, very. It can go very quickly, but overall, okay, it's going to be building slowly, a slow burn until Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million and something like that, and then people are going to be starting to use Bitcoin for shopping. Okay, it's not until it gets to that point that people are going to start using it for their regular day-to-day purchases. I know there's a lot of people out there that do use Bitcoin for their day-to-day, but that's a very small proportion of the people that are holding Bitcoin. I believe everybody is holding their Bitcoin until probably about $1 million per coin. Okay, and that's going to be happening in the next couple of years. Okay, so it's the price is going to go up. All the smoke and mirrors that are surrounding the cryptocurrency uh, pro and negative things that are said about cryptocurrency are going to start to wane. Okay, as the banking industry gets more and more into cryptocurrencies, as they already are, we're going to have more positive talk from the banking industry about cryptocurrencies going forward. And they're already kind of switching it around a little bit. Um, I am seeing that banks are going to be first giving their Bitcoin to the most wealthy, okay? And the poor people can't get it for quite some time. And then after all the rich people have gotten their share of the crypto, and then the poor, regular people like ourselves are going to be able to get it from the banking industry. But we're smarter than that. We can use a BTM, which is a ATM but for cryptocurrencies, or use other means of getting cryptos uh, and storing them on our cold wallets, right? Not on the exchange. I see some questions about the exchanges. Never ever leave your money on an exchange, okay? Unless you're in the middle of a trade or you're doing something like DeFi, which I have reservations about at the moment, okay? Because we'll get into that later on some of the problems with DeFi going forward. The people that are involved with the cryptocurrency verse are going to be coming charging forward more into the cryptocurrency world, and and it's going to be where they're going to be holding the value of their uh, wealth, okay? Because it holds wealth much better than the banking or the fiat currency system. Of course, everybody is going to be perplexed when the BRICS nations switch their fiat currency into gold-backed currency. That's going to be coming up very shortly. And when I say shortly, in the next couple of years, and everybody's, why did they do that? Well, they've been preparing for that for the last 10 years, if you've been paying attention. Okay, they've been buying gold and silver and all kinds of hard currencies, stable currencies for the last 10 years. Okay. So now it's no surprise why they are doing that. Okay. Because they already knew that the old fiat system was going to start to collapse and they needed to protect themselves from that collapse. And that's basically why Russia has a most stable uh, currency at the moment, because now they've switched it to gold back standard. I remember when I made that video about uh, Russia turning everything into gold, and there a few people laughed at that, and now that is a reality now. Okay, and with everything that's collapsing, we're seeing the world leaders around the world step down. Just recently, we got Boris Johnson doing his thing, and we're going to see that all the way around the world as people, the elites, the powers that be, start to run away from the situation that they've gotten themselves into. Okay? So cryptocurrencies are going to be there for the win. Okay? So right now is the time to buy cryptocurrencies at the nice low levels. It's a fire sale, as we used to say in the financial markets when I was a financial advisor back in the day. Right now, it's a fire sale. Everything's on sale. Get it now. Most people like sales, right? Now we got a cryptocurrency sale. Are you going to get in? That's up to you guys. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Okay. So somebody was asking the question about Volt Inu. Now, another warning. Anything with the Inu name, it's possibly a scam. Okay, because they're capitalizing on the name Inu. Shiba Inu, which is the one that first came out. Now everybody's going to be copying that portion of the name, Inu or Shiba something, or do Doge this and Doge that, to capitalize on the name. Okay, just a warning out there for everybody that many of these cryptocurrencies with the name are going to be scams. Okay. And if you're thinking that you're going to be making it rich by one of these copycat currencies that are going to be coming out with that name, okay, uh, probably not. Okay, let's have a look at Volt Inu just to give it a fair shake. See if it's any good. Let's look at it for the next year or so in the cards. So let's give it a fair shake. Get some cards out for, and we got some interesting cards coming up for us. The first card that draws my attention with Volt Inu, the Tower. Now the Tower is much like it looks like, people jumping from a building as it's getting hit by lightning and catching on fire, and all kinds of wonderful things happening to the building. This is the body of that cryptocurrency. It's the health of that cryptocurrency. And right next to that is that 10 of Swords. Okay. And everybody who is excited about that cryptocurrency is going to be coming into a very comfortable state. Right? A little comedy in the 10 of Swords card. He really looks comfortable, don't he? That was, it's going to start off that, everything's fine, everything's working properly. And then midway through its life cycle in the next year, we're going to find a little bit of this. So I know you all are intuitive and you can read cards, okay? You don't have to actually know the meaning of the card. You just look at what's going on in the card. The card is telling you the story of everything that's going on, okay? And the financial system's going to be, their financial system's going to be quite shaky for the next year. Money-making possibilities, it's going to be one that you can be doing quick trades with. It's not going to be one that's going to be around for the 10-year mark or anything like that. I like looking at cryptocurrencies and investing in cryptocurrencies that are going to last the long haul. Okay? This is a channel about the long-term game, not the short-term gains. Okay? I want to get into cryptocurrency. I buy it, I sit on it, and I don't worry about it from that moment on. That's why I have very few cryptocurrencies in my portfolio. Okay. I'm only concerned with the ones that are going to be around for the longest time. Okay. Instead of worrying about it when it's going to be falling down flat on its face. Just a reminder. And there's going to be some legal things coming out around this cryptocurrency for the price and the inner workings of the crypto. And it's going to be judged as shady in some form. And people are going to be very surprised at some of the things that are going to be coming out about Volt Inu. It's probably I think it was a cartoon dog by the name of Volt. My first thinking of where they got the name from. Okay, so this is one that I don't think is going to be lasting very long, but it may be a very quick way of doing trades if you have those skills. Okay, and just ride it up and down until it's no more. Okay, so that was Volt Inu. Now, let's look at the next one. Somebody was asking the question about CBC oils or CD oils and hemp and cannabis and all that. Here in Canada, we have all this stuff already. It's the one thing that Trudeau, I guess, did right, okay, to get voted in the last time. And I guess the question is, what is the history of CBDC oils and hemp and cannabis and that sort of thing. Now, we could do everything with hemp. Okay, we can make our plastics from hemp because of the oil. Okay, we can make fuel from hemp, a different kind of hemp, um, fabrics, and it goes on and on and on and on. And there's a lot of health benefits that can be gained from hemp and the oils that it creates. Okay, and then there's the smoking version that has many health benefits as well. So somebody was asking the question of the history or the future, okay, of these products. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, not in the slightest. My wife is a bit of a, she works at the hospital, actually, but she's not a doctor. So let's have a look at the future, okay, of these products. And we're going a year out. So if you're thinking of doing some investing in this scenario, I know in the beginning, if of the companies that were in the Canadian cannabis thing, and everybody invested in them, thinking that they were going to be making a lot of money from them. That wasn't the case. The Canadian government, they can't even make money from pot. How is that possible? But they did it, and now they're trying to do a catch up. Here in Canada, we have, well, Winnipeg. I can only mention Winnipeg. That's where I live. There's basically cannabis stores on basically every strip mall that's out there, with the papered over windows back like the old. You can't look in because it's naughty in some way. Don't want kids looking in and seeing a shelf full of stuff that they don't understand. Anyways, the health of this market is going to be, I know in Canada it's doing okay, but throughout the world, I think those products are going to do well. They're going to be a turning from traditional medical practices into more of the herbology practice going on. Okay, because all the medical tyranny that's been going on as of late, and people are going to be turning to traditional medical practicing. Okay, because the benefits of those uh, alternative medicine are going to be coming more to the forefront in the next couple of years as people are getting really fed up with the old medical system. And so they're going to be looking for alternatives. And this is going to be raising the price of many of the stocks and all that sort of thing attached to this industry. Okay, going forward, the people that are involved with the whole cannabis hemp product line, they're really tied to the old medical system, and they're not willing to give it up, the old system, because it makes too much money and doesn't really cure anybody. Okay, but it's a lot of money that can be made from that scenario, and so this is going to be holding back the hemp market for quite some time. So you're not going to be making the huge amounts of money if you're thinking of investing for quite some time, until everybody gets fed up with the old system and just moves on from the old system. Um, this is the moment in time when we're going to see a lot of the old systems going bye-bye. Okay. Um, and changing themselves to fit the needs of the new system. And it's going to be about money. It's always about money. So if the old medical system's not making any money doing the old things that they're doing, they're going to be changing. This is why big businesses, change out of necessity. not because it's the right or wrong thing to do. It's all about money. So we're going to see a lot of that going on in the next couple of years on this market. Um, and people, it's going to take a long time for the traditional system to come back around and get into the new products. Okay. So that was the hemp. Let's look at the next item on here. The Voyager. Everybody's talking about the Voyager. And it's right in the title, going, going, gone. Now, as I always state here on this channel, that never ever leave your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. I don't care. It's easy, I know. It's easier. Always take your cryptocurrencies off the exchanges, or you're going to end up like Voyager or Celsius or many of the other cryptocurrency exchanges that have gone bye-bye, and they've taken your cryptocurrencies along with them. Okay, get your cryptos, get them off, put them on a wallet. You own the keys. Okay, you own the cryptos. It's what's the scenario? You bought a bunch of gold. You don't want to store it at your house. You want to give it to your friend's house. Your friend goes bye-bye with all your gold. Okay, it's basically the same mentality. Do you want to control your cryptocurrencies or gold in your own safe, or do you want to give it to somebody else who's trustworthy? Okay, um, more cases than not, they're going to be walking away with your gold or your crypto, um, just because. Okay, so let's throw some cards down. Is it actually going to go bye-bye? Hmm. Ooh. Interesting cards coming up for this one. The first card that really sparked me is the good old death card. Okay. Many of these cryptocurrencies that have been leveraging your cryptos while they're holding on to them. If they're holding on to your cryptos, they're not yours. Okay. So it's just like the banking system with your money. Okay? It's not no longer your money when it's in their bank. It's their money. And just like the banks will take your money and they'll invest it in higher risk investments. Okay. And that's why many of the exchanges have been doing. They've been taking your crypto, investing it into things, leveraging it up to the eyeballs. And when the market falls down flat on its face, you got to pay the bill. And then they shut the doors and you can't get your cryptocurrencies out of there. It's just like the bank. It has actually happened in the banking industry. I think it happened in Italy. They called it the Italian haircut back in the day, if you remember your banking history, where they had to pay all the bills with your money. This is basically what's happening in the crypto world. They took your cryptos, they invested them, leveraged it, and now they got to pay the bills, and they're using your crypto to pay those bills. Okay, so just think of that when you got your cryptos on an exchange. Okay, never ever leave your cryptos on an exchange. Okay, so Voyager, is it going to be surviving? I think it's going to survive barely. I think there's going to be some type of bailout or something like that. Doesn't mean if you have cryptos on that exchange that you're going to be getting them back. It just means the health of the Voyager will keep going. It doesn't mean that they're going to be handing back your cryptocurrencies at any time soon if they survive and get a bailout from somebody. Okay. And many of the things that they're hoping for are going to be falling flat on their face. And they're going to be needing a lot of help from outside sources to keep their head above water. But when that happens, now they're the subservient to somebody else. So if somebody, big company comes in and pays off all the bills, now you got to do what the company that came in to bail you out says to do. Okay, you see the game? Now, the Voyager would be subservient to a third party. So, if the third party says to do something, guess what? Voyager is going to be doing that. Okay, and it's not necessarily to your benefit. Okay, so you're going to see a little bit of that if they get the bailout. From different companies, and everybody's going to be starting to walk away from things like that and finding alternative companies to carry on with their cryptocurrency lifestyle. Okay, this is why I always state never ever leave your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. Okay, so they aren't going to survive just barely because of bailouts from some third parties. Okay, let's get into the chat. I'm sure there's a lot of people asking questions. Here's one on Harmony One. Could you please do a reading on Harmony One? I sure can. I've done many readings on this one before. There's not a lot of people that are talking about Harmony One. It's kind of in the background right at the moment. I've done videos on it and they do okay, view wise. It's just telling me that not a lot of people are into Harmony One. Okay, because I watch my YouTube analytics and what videos do well and which ones not. It just tells me the interest level of different cryptocurrencies from moment to moment. Okay, and everything kind of fell off of face of the face of the earth on wanting to know certain topics. Okay, so Harmony One was one of those. But let's have a look in the next year how well they're going to be doing. So the health of it's going to survive barely. It's going to be a long road. It's going to be the long journey to keeping alive. They're really working hard behind the scenes on keeping their head above the water because a lot of the market has crashed, and a lot of the things that Harmony One is based on needs a good market to go to, not one in decline. It's going to be going up. It went the market, the crypto market, is going up a tiny bit, but I think that's going to be short lived. Because we're going to go through some other bumps in the road coming up very soon. The money portion, it's going to take a long time for if you are holding Harmony One. I think it's going to take a long time for you to make some real financial gains with that cryptocurrency going forward. And the people that are involved in this they're okay. I think there's a lot of hard work and that hard work is going to be paying off. We got the Ace of Wands with the people. And it's just telling me that there's going to be a lot of hard work behind the scenes with the team that's heading up Harmony One to keep it afloat. And everything that they're going to be doing is going to be paying off in the long term, not the short term, in the long term. And it's going to seem for most an eternity for everything to fall into place. There's not going to be any fast movement. This is upside down. This is everything's going smooth with the company platform. but that's not going to be the case for the next year or so. Okay, so they're going to have a lot of things to overcome in the next year or so to really keep their head above water. They will survive, but it's not going to be one of the greater cryptocurrencies going forward. Okay. I don't see anything really happening with Harmony One for the next 3 years. People are gonna sit up and take notice to it. So that was Harmony One. It'll be around. It's just gonna be a long, hard, bumpy ride for them for the next little while, like many of the other cryptocurrencies that are out there. And it's because of everything going on around the planet. Okay, we're gonna see which cryptocurrencies are good and which ones are not. It's like Warren Buffett. When the tide is in, everybody looks the same. When the tide goes out, we're gonna see who has their swimming trunks on. Okay, so I think they have something resembling swimming trunks. Okay. Somebody's asking about Cardano. We have it. Fred Stump. Okay. Asking about Cardano. Let's have a look at Cardano. They're going through a bit of a rough time themselves. Many of the things that they were hoping for are not coming to fruition. They're behind on many of the things that they were stating in the last little while. Like many of the other cryptocurrencies, they got many things on the go. They say they're going to be releasing things at certain times and they don't pan out. And that happens with Cardano more often than you know. Okay. So just have a quick look at Cardano for the next little while as you're going through a bit of a rough spot. So it seems that the health of this cryptocurrency going forward is not bad. We got the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, it's a contender. It's going to survive. It's just going through a really rough, bumpier ride at the moment in time. So in moments like that, and it's going to survive. The ones that can get past those rough ride will be the winners. Okay, many people that are behind many of these smaller cryptocurrencies, they come across a rough ride and they kind of give up. But I think they're going to be holding the line. We got the Ace of Swords just confirming that. They're going to take swift action in the next year or so and doing all the things that are necessary to keep their head above water. Cardano is one of my favorite coins going forward. It's going to be more of the second generation cryptos going forward. They got to build that infrastructure. They got to build ease of use. They got to build accessibility a lot better than the legacy coins. That's why the legacy coins are going to do much, much better in the next year or so because they have accessibility for their average person. Cardano doesn't quite have that, okay? Unless you're really computer savvy or and getting into the Cardano in some weird fashion. On an exchange or whatever, but most people do not know how to use an exchange. Okay, so we're talking about the average person on the street getting their first bit of cryptocurrencies, and they're probably going to be going to a machine or to a friend or a cryptocurrency company like we have here in Winnipeg and getting their cryptocurrencies that way. Okay, their first coins. Me and the wife never really use exchanges. We use our friends who have the BTC Winnipeg company here in Winnipeg. So, getting back to Cardano, they're going to have to build more of that infrastructure for ease of access and accessibility, and that's going to be taking another 2 to 3 years time for that to happen. Um, there's they're overcoming many things, but they're going to be going a little bit into the poorhouse in the next little while. So this is going to be bringing that Cardano price down a bit more, as is most of the other cryptocurrencies that are out there. They're all a little lackluster for the main good buying opportunities. I'll just say that. Okay. There's going to be a lot of sleepless nights for the people working on the cryptocurrency, worried about many of the things going on with the cryptocurrency. I'm just picking it will survive. It's going to get through those rough times. So if you're really worried, I wouldn't be. This is the time to get greedy with cryptocurrencies. Not be afraid. Okay, do the opposite of what your emotions are telling you. It's again with Warren Buffett. What people are greedy, be afraid. That's basically your indicator to take some cream off the top of your crypto holdings. When people are afraid, be greedy. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that was a look at Cardano. It's gonna survive. It's just got a lot of hurdles to get over for the next little while. Okay, so let's look at the next topic. Hi, Andre. Is Coinbase stock a good investment? Is Coinbase safe? Well, safe at getting your cryptocurrencies, not storing it. Okay. I know how many times I have to say that. Yeah, get your cryptos off of there. Never ever leave your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. Doesn't matter which one. Um, Now let's look at the investment idea. It's a good investment. There have been a lot of shakiness in the Coinbase, even though it's one of the bigger exchanges that's out there. Let's just have a look, see if it's going to survive. Binance is going to be one of the ones that survives because they're doing a lot of the right things and they're overcoming, they're expanding, where many of the other cryptocurrency exchanges are shrinking. It's like the company I work in in real life, that they keep expanding in moments of adversity. They're always expanding. This is the time to expand your company. And this is basically what Binance is doing. Coinbase, I think, are kind of shrinking. They're and many of the cryptocurrency businesses that are out there are shrinking their staff and stuff like that. Okay. So is it a good investment at this moment in time? I think I would rather just put that into Bitcoin. Okay. If you're thinking of investing in Coinbase, I think this would be a better opportunity for the legacy cryptocurrencies. Just put your money in there and just wait it out. Um, I'm seeing that they're going to be having a lot of hard times ahead of them and a lot of hurdles to overcome. Okay. They're not expanding like they should be. And I think it's going to be very detrimental to them in the future. So it may be a good time to back off from this one. And of course, with the second part of the question, never ever leave your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. Okay. I can't make it any plainer than that. Okay, let's look into the next question. So Joseph asked, Andre, does walking on the ground without shoes have healing benefits? Yes, depending where you're walking. If you're walking out in nature, yes, it's most of health is to do with flow of energy through the body. The body is meant to move, okay, and that is the when you are not moving, you're You're not doing yourself any favors. It's like my old kung fu teacher. Movement is the spice of life. Movement is the way forward um, to greater health. And walking barefoot is very beneficial to the body. Okay. Like out in nature. I wouldn't do it in the city. Uh, in the country, yes. Um, just make sure you're walking in uh, places that aren't damaging to your skin. But yes, it does have some healing benefits to the body. Healing in the psychic sense, it's all about flow of energy. Okay. Everything is energy. Okay. This computer I'm using, the microphone I'm using is all energy. We are energy. So anything that does not or promotes flow of energy through the body is beneficial. So having non-restrictive clothing is probably beneficial to, well, is beneficial to the body. My wife's a Reiki master, and I have knowledge on how to do it as well. And it's healing is all about energy through the body. Okay. You can heal your own body through your own thinking. Okay. Because everything manifests of what you think and becomes something through thought, word, and deed. Okay. So if you make the affirmation for a healthier lifestyle, that will become a thing in the other realm, but it's part of the law of attraction. But you're doing the law of action by thinking about something and acting upon that. Okay. You always have to have the law of action to make the law of attraction work. And the better you make your circumstances, i.e., walking barefoot and flowing that energy through the body, can be very beneficial because you're putting it out there as an energy. Okay. Um, so, short answer, yep, it's very beneficial to the body. Okay. And make sure you're breathing. As my old kung fu teacher used to say, breathe. It's good for you. Uh, you go, little German guy, very, quite an incredible gentleman. Um, and breathing and walking and moving energy about the body, thinking of white light. That's the easiest way of moving energy around. Okay. Energy can be used for healing of the body. White light, okay, can protect you from outside influences, helps you with your emotional state, and you can actually use energy, okay, and it's pretty easy to manifest for reading, or it can be very destructive if you need to, but I wouldn't, because there's that karma thing you don't want coming back at you. And looking at the next question, karma is a bitch. Okay. So yes, walking on the ground without shoes, it does have healing benefits. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. If it'll come up. Andre, my cash was in process of transferring over to Voyager right before the freeze. Since it's cash, not coins, do you see others not being able to recoup that back? Yes. They're in a state where they're going to have to pay off their bills. So it's going to take a long time for you to get your money back. Okay. So you're probably trying to get some cryptocurrencies off their exchange by putting cash in. It's going to take a long time, if at all, to get your money back. And there's going to be a whole other bunch of problems until they straighten that out, if they do. And I think they will. But I don't think you're going to be getting everything that you put into it back out. That's the unfortunate thing. They leveraged themselves to the eyeballs, and now they got to pay that bill. Okay. So unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be getting much of your money back. It's going to take a long time for it to be resolved. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Wish I had better information for you, but I think you'll get some of your money back, but not all of it. Okay. Thank you for that question. Here's where the statement I made previously about karma. When will the mask requirements on planes go away? Okay, that's going to be going on for another year or so. But it's hurting the Air Canada and WestJet. If those are the two big companies, or two of the big airline companies here in Canada. This goes back to something that I had previously said, that it's going to be businesses that are going to be changing the government of Canada, not the individuals. Okay. When businesses say you're hurting our bottom line, here's some lawyers to explain our position, that is when great change is going to start to happen within Canada and throughout the world on this baloney still going on. So when will it go away? That is the question. It's going to be another year or two where they're going to be keeping on with some of these dumb ideas here in Canada. The requirements of getting on a plane are going to be changing over the next year. You don't have to be having the cookies anymore, but that's going to, it has to play out, on its own. The stupidity of that going forward. So it's going to be about another year or two, maybe a little shorter than that, but we have to finally get out of the liberal baloney and into the conservative baloney, which is a tiny bit better. And Trudeau and his cabinet are going to be holding on for dear life, trying to keep people afraid here in Canada of the COVID. Moo. So, and of course, they're already talking about every 9 months you're gonna need a booster, which is gonna be falling flat on its face. I'll just let you know now, because I think there's enough people that are gonna be giving the middle finger to the government of Canada for over that. Okay, so thank you for that question. And of course, he gets into the next question. It'll pop up. Will people have to require to have cookies to fly again in Canada? That is, I think, going to be going away in the next year or so, just because the airlines are saying no more. Okay. And here's a bunch of lawyers to see our point of view. Okay. Okay. Next question. Will Trudeau step down before the election in 2025? No. He's going to be hanging on to that position as long as he can, because he's part of the Klaus Schwab gang. And he's told by Klaus Schwab to stay in where he is. Unless he won't step down, there is a possibility. I was saying that they may call another election in the next year. Okay. Could be even the next couple of months. I'm picking up where, especially on the issue of every 9 months, that the conservatives will actually do something for a change and try to get into power at that moment in time. Okay. But he won't step down. Okay, what will happen to monarchy when the queen passes on? Oh, what will happen? Well, it just goes to Charles, I believe. Most of the royal family doesn't have power, really. It's people like Boris Johnson who's leaving. Anyways, uh, they will still be around. It's probably Charles or somebody next in line that'll take over. I think it's going to be very diminished on the amount of things that they can do out in the public. It's the stuff that they do behind the scenes that are problematic. Um, so it's just going to go to the next person in line. I don't think she's around anymore, personally. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of things transpire because of many of the people passing away in the last little while, and this includes the Queen. Um, Not much will change, but I don't think it's going to have any bearing on how we move forward because I believe the people themselves are going to be moving things forward themselves and ignoring the power elite in a great wave. Okay, we're already seeing that in Europe right now, as many of the European nations are following along with the Netherlands and their protests. Um, the elected officials aren't having a good time of it at the moment, and they're trying to keep their head above water. And many of the European nations are going to be switching heavy to the right. Okay, so that's going to be a thing. Okay, thank you for that question. Treasury Model T is so expensive. Well, not really, but Exodus is non-custodial wallet. Is it safe? Exodus is not bad. There's a difference between the wallets. One is a cold storage wallet, and one is a hot wallet. Hot wallets are ones that are connected to the internet all the time. Exodus is safe. That's what me and the wife use, or one of the wallets that me and the wife use. And it actually connects right into the Trezor. If you have more than thousand, $2,000 in crypto, I would suggest spending the money on the Model T. It's the safest way of keeping your crypto, depending on the types of cryptocurrencies that you have. It's about $200 Canadian or a little bit more than that. So it's not that expensive. If you want to keep your billions of dollars that you have in your or will be millions of dollars safe, that price for the Trezor T, uh, Trezor Model T is not so bad. Okay. And it keeps your cryptocurrencies safe. Okay. Hot wallets would be the next step, safer than the exchanges, okay, but not as safe as a Trezor or a Ledger Nano or something along those lines. Okay, so yeah, it is safe, but we don't keep much money on or much cryptos on that wallet. Once I get a crypto payment, I automatically put it into the Trezor. Think of Trezor as your savings account. Keeps everything safe. Only keep the amount of money that you're going to be using throughout the day on a hot wallet. Okay, you're going to go to the place and you're going to buy something, kind of like your regular wallet. So it's safe, but I prefer everybody to go into that Trezor. It's not that expensive. Okay. And if you're really serious about cryptocurrencies and the future of cryptocurrencies and what they're going to be, get a cold storage wallet. Okay, we got another minute. Let's see if we got any quick ones to do. XRP is king. Okay. Um, Some interesting questions from people from Russia. Celsius. Celsius is that other um, exchange that's going through a really rough time, and I don't think it's going to ever recover because of what they were doing behind the scenes of nefarious things with your cryptocurrencies, like a bank. But unlike a bank, banks have a lot of money that they can use and they can create more. Okay. When you take cryptocurrencies, which is a finite thing and you can't make more of it, and you start doing the same thing banks do, you're going to run into a lot of problems. So I don't think Celsius is going to be around much longer. Okay, because of all the things that they did behind the scenes. And it goes back again, never ever leave your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. Okay, so uh, they're probably not going to be around for much longer. Okay, I think that we're at the hour. Always grateful for the people that are coming to the live stream. Our next live stream is on tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central. I'm just looking here. There we go. If you like a personal reading with me, make sure you go to psychogreensbyandre.com, where all that information is there and other information. If you would like to have a look, the wife works on that website quite a bit. It looks sharp. Um, if you like to protect your cryptocurrencies in the best possible way on the same site of psychogreensbyandre.com, there's a link to the Trezor affiliate link that we have on there, and I get a little bit of money when you buy a Trezor um, wallet on there. Okay, so with that, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.